Okay, well, I think we should get started. It's 12:02, so thanks so much for joining me. This is really, really exciting. I was really guided to do a live video with my cards. I was asking Spirit, I was like, can't I just record a video? And it's like, no, no, we have to do a live video. So here I am, and it's a whole new adventure for me. So here we go, right? So for the reading today, what I'd like to start out by doing is just getting everyone, including myself, really calm and centered. So I'll just ask you all just to sit comfortably, and if you can, plant your feet on the floor. And let's just all take a deep heart breath. And we'll just start breathing regularly, taking a deep heart breath. And as we start to do that, and actually as we start to breathe and we breathe with intention, what we do is we start to also calm down our nervous system. And as we breathe our divinity into our physical bodies. And it's a way of integrating. It's a way of being present, and it's a way of really calming down our nervous system. So when we can do that, actually, we can also put our hand on our heart and just continue to breathe with intention. And as we do that, and as our breath starts to slow down, we start to actually be more present, and we start to actually feel more safe. Because we bring our focus to our breath, and we bring our focus to the present moment, and we bring our divinity into this present moment. Hi, West Star Tarot. Hi, Maureen. Hi, Tina. Thank you all for joining me. So we're just taking some deep breaths right now. Some intentional deep breaths just to bring ourselves into this present moment, to ground us, to bring our divinity into our physical body. And as we do that, you can even start to notice any emotions or any feelings of discomfort in your body, which is really good to notice and to connect to. So, and I needed this just as much as you guys, if not more than you guys right now. Just was having a few technical issues right before I started. So, okay. So I've got my messenger cards here. Oh, look, I have released the past on the top of the deck. I'm using my set with the text for this time. In the future, I think I'll be doing maybe a reading or two without the text, just to show you, with the deck without the text, just to show you how I work with that. But today we'll work with this deck. And the question I was really called to do this reading for was, what am I transforming at this period of time? So you can use this reading for our situation that we're in right now with the pandemic, or you can use this reading if you want to do this for yourself with your cards, even with your own oracle cards. If you don't have the messenger cards, you can do this reading with any set of oracle cards. But you can use this reading for any situation where you really want to understand what the situation is bringing to you. So every situation that we have that is a struggle, that is causing us to suffer, is here for us to take us deeper, to take us more and more to ourselves, who we are, our divinity, our gifts. And it seems the bigger the struggle, the more suffering, the more transformation is actually possible for us through that situation. And so these cards will give us, they're really like a gateway into ourselves and it helps us to see more clearly what it is we can experience and how we can grow through this situation. So I'm going to give these a shuffle. And like I said, this is a reading for the collective at this time. And this reading will resonate with some people and not with other people, which is absolutely fine. And if it doesn't, then I do encourage you, you can either pull some cards for yourself right now, or you can just watch this video and do your own reading later on. So I'm just, I am shuffling these cards here. I'm going to just move this down a little bit so you can see just a little bit better. Okay, there we go. Hi, Tina K. So she's getting her messenger cards ready. That's awesome. So I'm just shuffling until I feel like they're done. If I'm just going through my process, so if you are really new to Oracle cards, then this is perfect for you too. So just shuffling till they feel done. There's different ways of choosing your cards when you feel finished. I personally, and you can't see this, but I personally just like to spread them out in front of me, and I'll just choose my cards for my spread. So I'm going to spread them out in front of me, and sorry you can't see that. But what I'm going to do is I'm placing my hands on my cards right now and just centering my energy and really focusing on the question, what, because this is a collective question, what are we all transforming at this time as a collective? But I'm really just focusing that question on these cards. And then I'm going to choose 3 cards. Okay, so cards that really... So just choosing the cards that really feel right. So where they stand out in some way. 1, 2, 3, okay. All right, so I chose 3 cards, and there we go. So the middle card is the card that is transforming. And this is what Spirit is transforming for us. And we can also, from this middle card, we can get clues as to where within us we have resistance to that transformation. So we'll go through that step as well. And then the second and the third card are there to support the first card. They give more accuracy, and they fine tune the frequency of the first card. So I'm going to show you what these cards are. So the first card that I chose, that we are all transforming at this time, this is really amazing. This is really beautiful. So we have the bear, and it's really bright. It's enter the cave. Wow. Yeah, I have lots coming up around that, and lots to say about that. So the second card that I chose is Across the Sky, so that's the horse. And the third card that I chose is Community. Let's see if I can hold these all at once here. There we go. Can use 2 hands. Okay. So this is our spread. So we have the bear leading us. You can call her grandmother bear if you like, or however you connect to bear. And we have the horse, the beautiful white sovereign horse. And then we have community, the community of ravens. So I'm going to talk about this first card and kind of all 3 cards as well. So this is just going to start to flow. L, looks like maybe bear is your totem. That's beautiful. So this is amazing. This is not a huge surprise. The bear message, and just if you don't know, all of these cards were created when they were painted and created. They were created as animal totems, as and I was bringing in their gifts as I was painting them, and then as I was creating the cards, I created a message for each individual card. And so if bear has a meaning for you specifically, please listen to that. And that's for any of these cards and the messenger cards as well. So if any of these cards and these animals have a special meaning for you, then spirit is speaking with you directly. And please use your intuition and honor that animal and what it's saying to you. So the message bear gives to us is to go deep within and to go in the cave and to not leave any stone unturned. So we look at each stone, those parts of us that are within us, we look at each stone and we want to understand it and we want to accept it, right? We want to accept those parts, look at them and accept them. So in doing that and in fully accepting them and in fully loving them and feeling them, we integrate them, and through that our gifts come through. And so the other part of bear is actually coming out of the cave and bringing your gifts. So what is it? I mean, we all have come into this lifetime with incredible gifts. They're all very unique. And when we are honoring our gifts and we're bringing them out in some way, we are making our lives, we're more in alignment with ourselves, and we are absolutely raising the vibration of this planet and helping everyone. As we each honor ourselves and who we are, we do that for everyone, right? So this card's perfect because when we go in, and the reason a lot of people have a hard time going really deep is because there's some really painful stuff in there. And those painful parts of us, those painful emotions, are the reason why we have a hard time moving forward in certain situations in our life. Those are the reasons why we stop ourselves. We have the voices in our head. We have those emotions in our body that we avoid and we push down, we suppress. But until we actually can go in and we can fully feel them and we can understand the voices and the beliefs that come along with those feelings, we can't transform. We have to go through the feelings to transform. We have to go through those emotions to transform. So so if you can take a deep breath right now, and I'm really feeling like this reading is really it's for each of us individually. And of course, we can all do another reading for ourselves, but this is really resonating. I can really feel it reaching a lot of people, and there's a lot of truth for this with a lot of people. So right now, if we think about bringing our gifts out into this world and what that means for us, even if we don't exactly know what those gifts are right now, and it's like really being yourself, coming out of that cave and really showing up. So this means not hiding anymore, but really showing up as who you are. Really showing up with those gifts and sharing them in whatever way you're guided to do that. But if you really think about that thought and really see yourself doing that, and you can do this now, and you can do this in the coming days, or anytime you want to work through this, really just take a deep breath, take some breaths, start regulating your breath and look within and see what you feel. And see where in your body you have any discomfort when you think about bringing out your gifts, taking yourself out of hiding, right? Really showing up. Where do you feel Where do you feel any discomfort? And for me, I feel that in my second chakra, and it's all in my lower chakras. And I can really feel that in my solar plexus, my second and my third chakra in particular. So my points of power. So I can feel in there, they're like, right? So, and the thing is that what I'm feeling about bringing my gifts out and actually doing this feeling work is entering the cave, right? So that's what we're doing here. So we're entering the cave. And what I am feeling is the part of me that is resistant to moving forward, to bringing my gifts out, to being the healer that I am, right? And how do I move through that? How do I transform that? I transform that by being very quiet, by relaxing my body, by breathing and really allowing that feeling of discomfort wherever it is in your body to come up, to grow, to move. It wants to move. It wants to come to completion, right? So that's a part of you that at some point of your life, you were probably when you were a child, it's probably a reoccurring theme in your life where you were told you couldn't be yourself, whoever you are isn't good enough. And your gifts may have been already full blown out there when you were a child and it was shut down. So that's where it got put. That's where it got stored, wherever you're feeling your discomfort. That's where that part of you, that's how that part of you communicates, is through this emotion. And so just sitting and really fully allowing it to be there without talking at it, without trying to change it, without trying to cajole it into changing. I see Maureen has done her own reading. I see Erica feels it in her throat chakra. I'm afraid to say something. And you're afraid you're going to sound like a fool. So you're feeling that in your throat chakra. So if you feel like you're going to be a fool, can you be with that part of you that feels like it's going to be a fool? So that's little Erica, that's little Sandra, that's little Erica who was told, be quiet because what you're saying is foolish, but you were speaking your truth, right? So what we want to do is, as we breathe, we actually give ourselves a little bit of space and we connect to our inner being, our higher selves. We connect to source energy, and then we can be with those parts of ourselves that cannot move forward, that are afraid. Like Erica, you're afraid to speak because you're going to sound like a fool. So it's being, and you can access that part of you directly through your throat chakra then, and just allowing that energy to be there without changing it, without needing to tell it how to be. We do so many mental gymnastics to try to coerce our feelings into feeling different from what they are. Enough. That's enough. And that's how we treat ourselves, is we try to manipulate ourselves into being something that we're not. And what our feelings need, what those parts of us need to transform and to integrate, is our absolute full love and acceptance. So the energy is very uncomfortable. You'll feel that energy in your throat, if it's in your heart, if it's in your, wherever it is, your solar plexus, your sacral chakra, your root chakra, wherever it is. Even if you're feeling it in a different part of your body, wherever it is, allow it to be there, allow it to come up, allow it to move. And keep breathing and understand that it's actually energy. And as we do this, when it's ready, it will transform. And sometimes it transforms bit by bit. But whenever you feel that feeling coming up, it's time to stop and say, I love you. Keep breathing. I love you. I'm here for you. I'm not leaving. So this is you parenting yourself like you needed to be parented, instead of being told to be quiet because what you have to say, what your truth is not true, be quiet, all that stuff. This is you now being the parent to yourself that you needed, saying, I love you. Whatever you have to say is valid. Whatever you're feeling is valid. So this is deep inner work. This is, and Bear is here protecting us. We are safe, and as we breathe, we do actually feel safer, and we can allow that energy to move within us. So it's more of us observing and holding space for that energy to come up and to move. So this is a very, very important process in transforming, because we have to bring all of our parts with us. We can't leave any parts behind as we evolve and we ascend, ascending into the fourth and fifth dimensions. We have to be whole beings. So these parts of us that have fractured off, they communicate to us through our feelings, and we have to allow them to be the way they weren't allowed to be when we were small. And we would find that these experiences that we had, these traumas we had, that where a part of us was not able to process what was happening, it fractures off and it keeps coming back to us in our lives, and it's the same energy imprint creating patterns. And so there'll be similar situations or situations that have the same energy imprint in them, and it keeps creating suffering for us until we can actually go in and integrate it. And it feels really good when you actually allow it that space to come up, and it's going to come up and it's going to be very uncomfortable, which is why we avoid it. We've learned to avoid these parts of ourselves and these feelings, but there's nothing to be afraid of. It's just energy, right? So I'm going to talk about the second card, which is, I have goosebumps right now. So this is the white horse. This is across the sky. This horse is sovereignty. And that makes me want to cry. So seeing ourselves as sovereign beings, which helps us to bring our gifts, understanding that we are each sovereign beings that are here to share who we are, to be our own. To me, sovereignty means we understand we are source energy. We are completely connected. We are divine. We have our own connection to source energy. We have our own connection, whether you want to call it the universe, to God. Yes, I see some wonderful messages here. So this is our work to claim our sovereignty. So when we understand that we are divine beings integrating into these physical bodies. So that's part of our emotional processing too. That's part of integrating our divinity into this physical body, is feeling and paying attention to our feelings, right? When we are integrated and we are connected to source energy and we are sovereign, we are balanced. Our energies are balanced. Our masculine and feminine energies are very balanced. Being sovereign means your masculine and your feminine energy are very, very balanced. So you have your feminine gifts, right? Your beautiful feminine gifts, and your connection to spirit, your connection to everything, your oneness. And then you have your masculine energy that holds the container for your feminine energy and your gifts. Your divine masculine energy is what supports you in being who you are. It gives you, it supports you, it protects you. It says, you are amazing, your gifts are awesome. And it says, let's do this, let's bring this out. Gives you confidence, gives you, let's call it healthy ego, gives you healthy individuality. So, but our own sovereignty is our individuality brought here into this physical realm, right? So we need both our masculine and feminine energies to be working. I do work a lot with people on actually bringing in, they're calling in and connecting to their divine masculine energy so that it can come into balance with their feminine energy, and they can start to actually be more confident, not be so afraid to be here and to be alive. So many people have so much anxiety. I know I have a lot of clients that are empaths, and it's like being here is scary for them. But what most of them need is to bring in and to connect to their divine masculine energy, to support their feminine energy, to feel like they belong here and they're safe and they're protected and they have the right to be here on this earth, right? So we need to be sovereign to bring our gifts out. So it's not just a feminine energy thing, it's a masculine and feminine energy. Oh, Tina says, I do feel like the two aspects are integrating. Yes, definitely resonates. Had been in yin mode for so long, and now it's time for yang to come out, but needing confidence. So we can connect to our divine masculine energy. It's not that difficult. Just very quickly to do that, you can do a meditation. I actually have a guided meditation for it on this YouTube channel. It's connecting to your divine masculine energy, so it's free. You can just go there. It works very well, and it's not difficult. The trick is to keep connecting to it. And remember, you don't have to keep doing the video. Do the video as many times as you need to, but then you can just do it on your own and just remember what your divine masculine energy feels like. And you can remember and call it in. And it's like, I don't feel safe right now. It's like calling it in. I don't feel confident right now. It's like, what does my divine masculine have to say about that? And how does that feel in this situation? And calling it in and just feeling way more confident and safe and grounded. So I started working with this a few years ago, and it's been a process for sure, working with my divine masculine energy, but it's helped me so much because I was afraid. And I think when we're afraid, we're not connected to source energy, we're not sovereign, right? So we need both. There we go. So I want to talk about our third card now. Oh, this is so beautiful. It's community, right? What? So what it's saying is needing to connect to our community also to bring our gifts out. This is really interesting. I just want to tune into that a little bit. So obviously right now too, community is very important, and with all of this isolation, let's try and, here, I'm going to do this right now. That'll help. With all of this isolation, it's been really hard to connect to community. We've had to do it in really strange ways, and we haven't actually had as much physical contact. A lot of us haven't had very much physical contact with our community. But it's very important that we do connect to our community in whatever way Spirit is asking us to do that, and to be safe, to honor whatever you need to do to feel safe. But our community is incredibly important for us. So it's our community that actually supports us in being who we are. So this is really important for moving forward, is really identifying those people in your life that see you, that understand you, that see your gifts, that support you in being who you are and moving forward. And we all know that there are people in our lives that do that, and some people that don't. And but those are the people that we need to focus on connecting with and giving back to them just as much as they give to us. And so this card in itself is like your community is waiting for you, right? They, whether you're aware of it or not, whether they're aware of it or not, they're ready for you, and they're ready for you to show up, and they're ready for you to be there, and they're ready to support you just the way that you support them. Like, think about how much support you give to those people that we all know we are able to support others. We can see other people's gifts and we're like, oh my God, you're amazing, right? And we can do that so easily for other people, and it's so hard for us to do that for ourselves. So it's time for us to call on our community and be vulnerable and say, here it is. We can ask, what do you see in me? Like, people that you really trust. Do not do this with people that see you in the old way or see you in the past. It's like, what gifts do you see in me? How do I affect people? Our gifts are those things in us that really affect people in an incredible way. It is how we help others connect to source energy and their own sovereignty and their gifts, right? So community is huge, and they mirror back to us, and they mirror back to us our gifts, and they can also give us really great feedback for when we are holding ourselves back, for when we're not moving forward in really healthy ways. Those are the best. Those are truly our soulmates, and our community are the ones that say, hey, I notice this is happening a lot for you. I just see this pattern in you, and can I help you with this? Or can we talk about it? Or I just see this happening for you, and I love you, right? So I want to see you living in joy and abundance. And anyway, and the people that really respect us and know us can see that stuff in us, and they can help us move through it. So that's community. So let's see if we do all three of these cards together, and I'll try not. There we go. So our community and our sovereignty, bringing our gifts out, right? And also in order to bring those gifts out, to go within, right? And to integrate and to bring those aspects, to heal those aspects and to love them and to integrate them, so we can come out and be ourselves. Wow. Let's see. Let's read a couple of these messages. Tina K. Yes, this is an incredible message. Connect with those where you have that connection, supportive of one another. Not just one way, usually us giving it away. No, thank you very much, Tina. That's a really good point. It has to be giving and receiving. So absolutely, there has to be a lot of equality of exchange there. It's like, one day I have a beautiful goddesses circle that of ladies where I work with them, and it's like, we can all, one day one of us needs support, another day it's another one, and we're always there for each other, and we're able to be honest with each other. So it has to be an equal exchange. And then no, that's not really someone in your community, and someone that is yeah, somebody really in your community can't be somebody who's always taking. So then they become something else. Maybe that's somebody you're just helping out, but being really clear about that, right? And having boundaries around that. That's a whole nother can of worms, but that's okay. So where are we at? We're at 12:37. Are there any questions anybody has about anything, like with using the cards or this reading or anything like that? I'll just see if any questions pop up. Otherwise, you can do this reading for yourself. I do one-on-one readings, and they're very similar to this. There's always connection and integration with those parts of us that are unable to move forward. And so you can find me on strokeofsoul.com. That's my website, and go to my shop, and you can book a reading there with me. Yeah, I'm not seeing any questions come up, so that's okay. And I think our time's up anyway. That was amazing, and I will be doing this. Yes, thank you, Maureen. When reciprocity is just there, it's natural and it's so good. Absolutely. So thank you very much. I will be doing this on a regular basis. So please, if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then you can get notifications and see other videos. So I'm going to be doing more work as well on the divine masculine and divine feminine, because I believe that's a really huge part of our sovereignty, and having our energy in balance and our sovereignty. So there we go. I think that's it. Oh, thank you, everybody. I'm seeing such beautiful messages, and it really means a lot to me that you all came. This was perfect. So I'm going to just give you all my blessings and send you all my love, and be well, and start taking those baby steps to sharing your gifts. I love you. Bye.